I decided to do a tier list on the Rainbow Six Siege defenders, and we are here today to do the attackers this time, and I'll be ranking how I think they'll do next season. That's coming up in a couple of days. Now I know this will be my third tier list in a row on the YouTube channel, and I've with no other content to be shown in sight, which is why I am going to possibly make a different video soon. It just might take a bit longer than how tier lists usually would. They don't take long, it's just I record them on the day and then a couple hours later they're ready to go. This one might take a bit longer, but yeah, enough about what I could possibly do in the future. Let's get into the video. We have all the attackers here, ignore the defenders. I just couldn't find any updated ones with just attackers or just defenders last video especially. So we're going to start off with Sledge. Sledge is either S or A tier. I think I'm going to put him S tier because of just how he withstands the nerfs he gets. It's pretty much he gets a nerf every so often because of how useful he is to a team. I remember the moment they got rid of the SMG-11 from him. A lot of people did not like that, but I guess it's because no matter what they do, Sledge will always be one of the top operators. They slowed him down as well last season. They put him in as a 3-speed instead of a 2-speed, thinking that might change it, but no, it doesn't change anything. Sledge is still one of the top operators, and that's why he stays in S tier. Thatcher. Thatcher is A tier. Now the reason I put him S tier is because of the recent, pretty much a nerf, I think. I'd say it's a nerf, where a lot more operators have been given the choice to pretty much play as a smaller version of Thatcher. The EMP grenades have come in and pretty much do the work for him, which is why I think he's probably been picked less, so you can have more useful operators into the roster when trying to choose an attacker to play with. Now Thatcher hasn't really suffered from this nerf, but to some extent I think it just gives people, for example Sledge actually has EMP grenades, but people might choose Sledge more over Thatcher just because he has more of a useful gadget. Then he'll use the EMP grenade if there's a bandit or a mute on the wall, which is why I think Thatcher is not S tier. Next we have Thermite. Thermite is once again very useful. He's a breacher. I'm going to put him A tier, but the only reason that I do not put him S tier is just how, unlike Ace and Hibana, these two could do it from a safe distance. Thermite has to get stuck in to blow up the hole in the wall. Sure, he has a bigger radius than the other two, but he could possibly be taken out through, I don't know, let's say you're in border, try to breach a wall, there's a barricade behind you, there's a Kavira waiting. Unlike Ace or Hibana, who could pretty much do it from a safer distance, but still a solid operator, still someone I put in A tier. I like the gun he has, especially with the 1.5 scope, which is absolutely broken by the way. But yeah, solid attacker. Ash is the same, A tier. I also like Ash. I can never hear her when she's running up the stairs. She's a sly little shit that will breach your defense without you even noticing. 10 seconds into the action phase, in fact. Should take out like 2 of your players and then you're left in a 3v4. But not just that, her gadget's pretty good, similar to Sledge, can go through light walls, not hard walls obviously, well reinforced as well. But A tier operator in my opinion. And yeah, we'll move on to Monty, who is suffering a bit this season with picks, but recently I've seen a surge in him. I don't know if it's because of it might be because of the shield reworks that are happening. People are trying to get better with the shield operators. But Monty so far, if I had to go by this season, sort of, it'd be down here in E tier. But because I'm trying to also think of the upcoming season, it's sort of a mix between these. I'm going to put him D tier. Now, he's not a bad operator. It's just shields do need a rework, in my opinion. He's someone who will probably be affected majorly when it comes to it and maybe rise up the tier list, possibly up here, C or B, but I think I'll keep him a D tier just because, well, he's just not been that useful this season. Fuse now. Oh wait, not Fuse, sorry guys. Twitch. Twitch, I really want to put A tier or B tier. I think I'm going to put B tier. She did get an extra drone, not a Twitch drone, a normal drone to her roster or equipment, but she also lost, I think it was the vertical grip to her F12, which will make the recoil a lot harder to control. Now, I think that wasn't a fair trade, and with that vertical grip, she's A tier, but I think she's borderline B tier. If there's a B+, that's where I'd put Twitch. But not much to say about Twitch other than that. Moving on, we have Fuse. Now, I hate Fuse, not just because he can kill you in like pretty much one shot with his gadget, but it clears out all gadgets around just like that. And you're only getting one. Just Jaeger's active defense system will take out one, but the other three are taking that active defense system out. It's taking mute jammers out, it's taking bandits out, it's taking, I don't know, you might have a Melusi gadget in there. But yeah, he's really good for pretty much clearing out rooms too and taking over the room. So A tier, he's solid. I don't see anything wrong with him. Maybe a little nerf to him would work, but at the moment I think he's in a solid position. Glaz. Glaz is someone I don't see often, which is why I'm putting him in E tier. Despite the recent buffs he's been getting, I just don't see enough of him to make me convinced that he is one of the better operators. Now, I think E tier might be harsh, but I've seen no further changes to him other than he's become more stealthy with the 1 speed. He's got a bearing, I think it was a bearing 9, I think he got added. I'm pretty sure Frag Grenade came into the equation at some point. But they try buff him, but there's another operator who just does his job much better, in my opinion. And I think we all know who I'm talking about. But we'll move on to the next attacker, Blitz. Blitz, once again, suffering with picks. I don't see him often. I think he's going to be D tier with Monty. He's still an operator I get scared of when he comes running at me and blinds me. But at the same time, I think he will do much better with the shield rework coming up. And I've just got to think of that as well when I do this, but I just don't see people wanting to play shield operators as much. I don't see them being too much of a use, but at the same time, I can kind of see it. But I think it's going to sit in D tier. If it weren't for the upcoming rework, they'd be down in D or F, but overall, D tier. Good. He's still a good operator, I think, but just not as good as the rest above him. Which is where I come in with IQ. IQ is going to be a C tier. Now, the only reason why I think she's a C tier is her purpose, her gadget. I just don't think it's not much of a use apart from finding the bomb and pretty much finding other gadgets, but other gadgets can be caught out by drones itself. So IQ's gadget is kind of useless. I know it's attached to her arm, and even if you have no drones left, she is going to be useful then. But you try and keep as much drones safe as possible to try and look out for these Kapkan gadgets or these fawn traps, the frost traps. But she's kind of lucky I'm putting her in a C, because D tier was borderline, but I think C tier is where she'll sit, because she does have a good gun, and I like the guns she uses as well. But yeah, C tier it is for IQ. Next we have Buck. Buck is S tier. I think he's got one of the best, if not the best gun in the game. Not only that, it can turn into a shotgun, which I really, really like. I think he is, well, he's really good for opening latches, opening light walls, and probably creating tension in around the defenders. Because if he's not taken care of properly, not only can he go through light walls, he is equipped with a hard breach that can be used to open up the reinforced walls, which is also something we need to be careful of when playing against Buck, because I think he's a really good operator. S tier, it's deserved. Yeah, there's just nothing other than that, but he's a little shit when it gets to playing against him. We move on to Blackbeard, who is suffering still with that major nerf that happened. It feels recent, but it was quite a long time ago. I think he's gonna have to go F, because I don't know, if he did not receive that huge nerf to his gadget, he'd be up here. But it happened. It's not that useful anymore. I can still headshot him. Even if you don't want to headshot him, you can still get him in the body. It's not much use, which is why he probably would have been B tier or A tier if it happened, or it didn't happen. But yeah, still suffering with that. I hope Ubisoft makes changes to this operator at some point, so he can rise up, or just, be in a situation where he's getting picked a lot more as well. But overall, F tier is probably where he's going to sit for a while until something is done about this operator. But yeah, Blackbeard F tier, and something I don't want to see. Capitão is next. Capitão is solid. I really like his crossbow. You could either use it to smoke the room out, get the diffuser down. Glaz could come into the equation here with his gadget, team it up with Capitão. Or you could use the fire to sort of just stop the enemies from getting into the room as you defuse, cover up. They have to run through the fire, maybe have another player in the room guarding, take him out. But yeah, he's solid. B tier is where I think he deserves to be. There's no way I don't think he should be C tier. I think he's a bit underrated, Capitão. Especially his LMG. I know that LMG's got nerfed, but his LMG is still pretty good in my opinion. So B tier it is. Next up we have Hibana. Hibana is going to be, I think she's S or A. Now I think I'm going to put her I think S tier. I just think she's incredibly versatile. Once again, she can actually, I think A tier would be probably the best option. When she breaches, you can't jump through it, unlike Ace and Thermite, which you can go through. But at the same time, you can use just one or two. You can use 2 pellets to break open a hatch. Obviously, when it's reinforced, it's a different story, but the hatch is broken through with just 2 pellets. You can make little holes to shoot through as well. Oh no, it's a disadvantage, you can't jump through it, but once again, a gun is great. I like her gun. The Supernova is also something that I've seen has been completely broken in the recent updates, but yeah, she also comes with a secondary weapon, which I quite like, which is an SMG instead of a pistol. So A tier it is, just A tier. She's borderline S, but A tier just because she has some cons to her that Thermite and Ace have has an advantage over. Coming up with the next operator is Jackal. A lot of lower ranked players do ban him. I've been terrible recently. I'm now silver 3, not gold anymore. So kind of dropping into that area. Gold still probably does ban Jackal. I've seen it before. But he's not as good as people think. But still, he is good. I think I'm going to put him B or C tier. I think B tier is going to be the one. Because he can track down the roamers such as Kavira or any other operator like Vigil that could be roaming around. He can track them down and sort of just make the others aware that there is someone running around. Not only that, his C7E, I think it is a brilliant gun. I like it. I like that he's equipped with a shotgun as a secondary weapon. Sort of goes back to Buck. He can sort of take shortcuts as well through lighter walls or create open areas to sort of maintain a cleared room before going forward. But yeah, B tier operator, really good. Still, he's quite versatile with himself as well. Yeah, moving on, we have Ying. Ying is A tier in my opinion. Got a lot of A tier operators for the attackers, but I think once again she can breach through hard walls, which is something I like to see. You can also jump through it. She can flash the whole room up. That's a gadget. I like to use the "you can't see me, they can't see you" tactic. I think I've just bottled that, but we'll move on anyway and pretend I never said that. But yeah, A tier operator for Ying. Sophia, I think B tier is going to be where Sophia is. LMG nerf kind of fucked her gun a little bit, but I think she still is useful. Her gadget's useful. Her gun is still useful even after the nerf. It only got a little bit fucked. There's not much to say about her, apart from just being still solid. Dokkaebi next. Dokkaebi is D or C. I think she's gonna be C. I don't see the hype around Dokkaebi. Everyone could probably. This is probably where I might get backlash if I ever have any. But I just don't think Dokkaebi is solid. I think she'll be really, really good, possibly S tier, with a primary weapon like an assault rifle, or maybe something like that. Automatic, pretty much, just an automatic weapon for a primary would sort herself out really well, and probably even more picks in my opinion. Because she's not a sniper necessarily like Glads or Callie. I think she'd do with a primary weapon added to her equipment. Next operator we have is Lion. Lion is solid player, well operator, sorry. But I think he's going to go C tier as well. Because it's easy to counter his ability, just stand still. Even in a gunfight, I think it'd be quite easy to counter. He's not equipped with any breaches, but he's equipped with an EMP grenade, which sort of once again cancelled out Thatcher a bit. But Yeah, C tier. I think he's better than the ones below, but I don't think he's better than the ones above. But I think he's still quite solid and useful because his gun is quite good. Thinker is going to be, if you ask me when the LMGs were good, she'd be S tier, but now I think she's B tier. Just because of the huge LMG nerf, she was like the main operator when the LMGs were brilliant. She's like the one everyone would choose because of not only just because of her LMG, but her ability also helped out, especially when it came to rushing. I saw a lot of Thinker rushing. But yeah, B tier, and sort of sits with Sophia now with the LMG nerf. But moving on to the next attacker, we will have a Maverick. Maverick is either B or C, but I think he's going to be borderline C. I haven't seen much from Maverick. He still has a good gun. I still think his ability is great. It's just I haven't seen enough from him to put him in a B tier. Not enough of him, in fact, that I don't have much to really say about him, apart from he's a good versatile operator. He did get his frags removed from him, if I am correct, which also sort of got him, well, made him less versatile in my opinion, and probably would have been B tier because I do like frags. It is my opinion on these operators, but yeah, for now he's been kind of fucked, so C tier is where he sits. Nomad will be next. Nomad is a brilliant operator. The third one to go into S tier. Now, I put her in S tier because her air jabs are insane. Just putting them near the door, I don't put them out of the way, and the defender just doesn't see it, goes through it. Even if they do notice it's there, they still can't reach it and will have to go through it, unless they go round. She has hard breaches to go, well, not hard breaches, but she has breaches to go through light walls and hatches, unreinforced hatches. Her guns, both guns, are really good. I can't decide which one I'd rather want. ARX is still really good. The other one, I think it's the AK-74, something like that. I can't remember the name, but something like that. It's also very, very good. And I sort of switch in between all the time. I do the same with Mozzie. I switch in between the other two guns quite a lot. Currently I'm using the P10 Roni though, because I really love the P10 Roni. But enough about Mozzie, because it's an attackers tier list. Nomad is the third S tier. The next one, Gridlock, is once again a good operator, but B tier. Nah, A tier. Gotta be A tier. Her tracks can stop any defenders from getting through unless they have impact grenades, which kind of makes me want to put her in B tier. I'm going to put her in B tier because not only that, LMG nerf stopped us from kind of using the LMG, but then again, it's also quite good because I'm pretty sure it's Capitals as well, and also her other gun is quite good. She has a shotgun, the super shorty as well. Yeah, it got to be A tier. Just thinking about it, yeah, A tier it is. I don't already have what they are in my mind. I'm sort of thinking of what they have and what they bring to the team to sort of determine where they'd be. So Gridlock, yeah, A tier. The big fight between both of them, but I'm putting her in A tier. Knock is the next one up. Knock is once again brilliant operator. I see her a lot with the pros as well. Not only just me. I'm not a pro, but I think also A tier. I've got a lot of attackers in A tier, but she's solid, even borderline S tier. but I think she is equipped. Well, she's versatile. She's equipped with a lot of things like frag grenades and hard breaches. She could be a hard breacher. She could be anything at this point in time. Yeah, A tier, solid attacker. Amaru is next, which I'm putting in C tier. I don't think Amaru is very good at this type of meta we're in right now. Maybe even D tier. I just don't see a lot of her. She's more of a rush operator, and when it doesn't work, which is like 95% of the time, you're either putting yourself in a situation where it's a 4v5 or possibly might get a kill, bring it back down to a normal 4v4. You want it to work, you've got to kill at least 2 people. So maybe even D tier. It's borderline. So I'm going to put her in... I can't do that. I'll put her in C tier. She's still solid. Next one, Callie. Callie's not been great, but better than Glaz. D tier for me. Because she could be C tier, I think, because of how she can get rid of bandits and mute jammers. So, but at the same time, she's not picked enough, in my opinion. I don't see her too often. So D tier it might be, in my opinion. Yeah, D tier. She's still quite good, better than the other 2 in here. Probably just a little worse than the ones below, I mean above, sorry. But next we do have Iana. Iana is... it's got to be A tier. I've got so many in A tier, but they're all just so bloody good. Iana's got to be A tier. ARX 200 is a beautiful gun. One of, if not the best gun. I think Buck's gun takes the cake though. I think it might be second best. She's also equipped with Ash's G36C, I think it is, which is also a very good gun. So that's another one I sort of split in between when I'm playing as Iana. At the moment, I think I've got the ARX 200 on me. But she has frag grenades, unless they removed it, I can't remember. I think she still does have them. And her ability does have a bit of a con, which is why, because I do tend to take it out too easily. The moment she runs into a room, if she's by herself, you can turn around, go into that room, take her out in the corner, which is something I have done before. But yeah, A tier operator, so many of them at the moment, but the attackers are just in a good spot right now, especially with the repick as well you can do. I haven't missed any attackers, have I? I did do it last time, so I missed out Doc, I think it was, in the defenders. So I'm just having a check if I did or not. But next is Ace. Ace is going to be the 4th S tier. Might be a tiny bit of bias since he's my most played operator and my favourite at the moment. So he's what I main the most. So I know a lot about him more than the others. But I love the AK-12, one of the best guns in the game. Could do with a bit more recoil control on it. That'd make it even more solid, which is probably why they haven't done that. The Selma breach is amazing. There's 3 of them, but you could jump through them, unlike Hibana's. You can do it from a safe distance, unlike Thermite. He's sort of just the better pick, in my opinion. He's not very equipped with guns, but the AK-12 is a good solid gun, so it sort of balances it out. Claymores is also something I've not talked about with some of these operators like Ash and Jackal. Pretty sure Nomad doesn't have them. Claymores are very useful, in my opinion. I get a lot of kills with them. They're very sneaky as well to place down. With the new red and blue sort of lighting you see, kind of might have taken them out, but Claymores are still pretty solid at the moment. So yeah, Ace is going to be the 4th S tier, so enough about Claymores. So I just think he's much more solid than the ones below. Moving on, we have Zero. Zero I haven't seen much of. D tier. I think he's going to be D tier. I do like him. He's a good operator. Especially his cameras, they can get annoying, but they're very easy to spot if you put them in an open area. I haven't seen much of Zero, don't see him picked a lot. He did become more sneaky, becoming a 1-speed. I say he's become sneaky as a 1-speed, it's sort of something I'd say, because he's much more harder to hear. But yeah, D tier at the moment, because just what he's been picked, I haven't seen enough of him. Flores is someone I've also not seen a lot, but I'm putting in C, not C tier. I think he's used a lot by professionals, S tier. A lot of people under like in the low ranks sort of underrate Flores. I think he's very underrated. The reason why I think he's S tier is, well, not only do I see a lot of pros using it, it's sort of where I get my idea of operators from. I think his drones are very underrated as well. They're not for killing, which lower ranks tend to try and use them for. They're more for taking out gadgets, like bandits, mutes, jammers are probably not a great idea to try and take them out. Taking out traps as well, they're quite good for that. It's not so much for killing operators, which I've seen a lot of people try, which is why I think he's very underrated. And personally, I think he is one of the best operators in the game so far. There's no bias to this. There might be a bit of stupidity to it. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Next, we have Osa. Osa has been used a lot. I think she's A or B. I think I'm going to put a B, just about. I think she's better than these though, but just not as good as these. Her gadget is very easy to take out if you have a C4 like Capcan Bandit or Mozzie or whoever you're using. C4s are easy to take him out. I've taken out Osa many times with a C4, which is kind of why I think in my personal experience, because I like to use C4s, she's just not that great against them. But it's not just the C4s. I think she's very good at being some sort of shield operator, because she can do that with her gadget. I think her gun is the same as Thermite, so it's also pretty good. She also has that, I think it's an LMG or an SMG, one of them, but it's still pretty solid gun. I think it's the PWD. But yeah, so she's still solid B tier operator, because I think she's better than the ones below. Next we will be having Sens. Sens I've not seen a lot of. E tier. I do not see Sens at all. It might be because of the rank I'm in, but Sens is just at the moment not great. I think I can't do it like that. I think I might put a D tier, or E tier is, I don't see enough of Sens. And the same thing with the one that's coming up next is Grim, F tier. I don't see Grim never, just don't see Grim. Not even in the professional leagues or the invitational, which is where I get most of my information, these operators from. I just don't see him. His picks, he's not picked enough. He needs probably an instant emergency buff or something, however you want to say it. Same with Sens. Sens might need a little bit of a buff. I think I've done her a bit dirty. I think D tier is probably where she should be. But Grim I don't see enough of. We need a major Grim buff. I think I've seen him once in this season, which is quite recent. He did get a buff, but nothing's changed for this operator, so F tier. Now that should be all the attackers. if I don't see anyone I've missed out, but if I have missed someone out, please do let me know, and I might just have to try, I don't know, fit one of them in a quick video. I don't know, but I think I've done them all. So if you disagree with this tier list, please do let me know. If you want to swap operators around, just say in the comments. But that's all I have to say for today. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a like. It'll mean a lot. We're closing in on 100 subscribers, which is something I've never got to in my life, because I've tried YouTube before, but when I was just a little kid. It's completely gone now. But getting to 100 subscribers would mean a lot. 1/10 on the way to 1,000, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think I'm getting a bit deluded, but enough of going on a tantrum or rant or whatever it is. Please do subscribe, it means a lot. Leave a like, comment down below what you want to see or what you would change to the tier list.